In eastern India, you'll find two of the most magnificent temples ever built, the ancient Lingaraja and the absolutely breathtaking Konark Sun Temple. Now, both of them are pinnacles of Odishan architecture, but you know what? They tell vastly different stories in stone.
And that's really the puzzle we're digging into here. On one hand, you have a temple that feels like a bustling vertical city built for the gods. And on the other, you have this single epic vision of a celestial chariot, literally frozen in time. So how on earth did the same architectural tradition produce two masterpieces that are so profoundly different? Well, let's find out.
Okay, so before we dive into everything that makes them different, we've got to understand what makes them so similar. Because it's their shared heritage, their shared DNA, that really makes their unique identities pop.
So first up, we've got the Lingaraja Temple, which is really the spiritual heart of the city of Bhubaneswar. And then you have the Konark Sun Temple, standing like a silent guardian on the coast of the Bay of Bengal. Both are totally iconic, but as you're about to see, for very, very different reasons.
The crucial link, the thing that ties them together, is Kalinga architecture. Both of these temples are the crowning achievements of this incredible style, a unique school of temple building that just flourished in ancient Odisha. And it's this shared artistic DNA that makes their differences so mind-blowing.
All right, so where do their paths split? Well, it happens right at the very spiritual heart of each temple, the specific gods they were built to honor. Because who you're building for fundamentally changes what you build.
And wow, the contrast here is just night and day. Lingaraja is all about Lord Shiva, but specifically in his form as Harihara. At its core is a self-manifested stone idol, a Svayambhu Linga. Konark, though, it has a singular focus, Surya, the sun god. Its entire building is the symbol. There isn't a central idol in that same way at all.
And you really have to appreciate this Harihara concept. It's a huge deal. It's a fusion of Shiva and Vishnu, bringing together two of Hinduism's largest sects. This made Lingaraja a powerful center for unity, a beautiful statement of religious harmony.
So, with that spiritual foundation in mind, let's look at how it all translates into the actual physical buildings. This is where those metaphors, the city and the chariot, really come to life.
First up, Lingaraja. I want you to think of it less as a single building and more as a sprawling, sacred metropolis, one that was built to grow over time and just completely dominate the skyline.
And dominate is the right word. I mean, the main tower, the Vimana, shoots up 55 meters. That's about 180 feet straight into the air. For centuries, it was the most imposing thing you could see from miles around, a true beacon of faith.
Architecturally, it's just a perfect textbook example of the Kalinga Deola style. You've got these four main halls all arranged in a line. The towering sanctum, the assembly hall for all the devotees, a hall for dance and festivals, and then finally, the hall of offerings.
And this whole layout is what really sells that city idea. The main temple is just the beginning. It's all enclosed in this massive courtyard that contains something like 150 smaller shrines. It's a living, breathing complex that literally grew over centuries.
Okay, now, let's do a hard pivot to Konark, which basically takes that whole sprawling complex idea and just throws it right out the window for one single, breathtaking, unified concept.
The entire temple is imagined as a colossal chariot for Surya, the sun god. It's got 12 pairs of these massive, intricately carved wheels on its sides, and it's being pulled by 7 incredibly powerful stone horses. The whole thing is this dynamic sculpture that symbolizes the sun's daily race across the sky.
But get this, and this is one of my favorite details. Those giant stone wheels, they are not just for show. No way. They are functional sundials. The spokes cast shadows that you can use to calculate the time of day with just stunning precision. It's an absolute testament to the astronomical genius of its builders.
So, you have to be asking, why these two completely different approaches? Well, the answer is all in their history. One was the peak of a long, slow evolution. The other was a sudden, glorious revolution.
And this timeline just lays it all out for us. You can see the Lingaraja site has roots going way, way back to the 6th century. The temple we see today was built in the 11th century, the result of hundreds of years of development. But then you get Konark, built 2 centuries later by a totally different dynasty, as this one-off, monumentally ambitious project.
So, here's the key takeaway. Lingaraja is the magnificent climax of a mature style that was perfected over generations. It's the grand finale.
Konark, on the other hand, is like a lightning strike. It's a radical artistic statement, a singular, powerful vision made real by a king who wanted to make his mark on history. So let's bring it all home. How do these different histories and designs translate into their legacies today? Because they still command our attention, but in completely different ways.
You could really boil it all down to this. One is a vertical monument to Shiva, reaching up to the heavens. The other is a horizontal celebration of the sun's journey across the earth. Just two totally different, beautiful expressions of the divine. And that leads right into their modern legacies. To this day, Lingaraja is one of the most active, vibrant centers of worship you'll ever see, with thousands of devotees visiting every single day. Konark, while it's no longer an active temple, is recognized as a treasure of all humanity, a UNESCO World Heritage Site admired by the entire world for its artistic genius.
And so we end right where we began. Two temples, one tradition, telling two very different stories. One of evolution and community, the other of revolutionary vision. And it just leaves you with this thought. If these monuments are really just stories captured in stone, what do they truly tell us about the power of belief and ambition to shape not just skylines, but our entire world?